Sir, it's streaming live on Facebook now.
Okay. So meantime, you can start the NSS activities of the college, Ananya. The video which you have designed.
Sir, the video we have thought to be present when the chief guest will join us, sir.
Okay. So for 10 minutes, the video will be on.
No, sir, it's only 3 minutes
Okay.
with the NSS song. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I think less than 3 minutes.
Okay.
Yes.
So have you called the chief guest?
No, sir.
Just make a call. So
Yes,
you might
sir,
have forgotten.
I'm calling him, sir. Yes.
नमस्कार सर।
नमस्कार। कैसे हैं?
बस बढ़िया सर, आप बताइए।
Right. Ananya,
Yes, sir.
till the time the chief guest join, I suppose you speak about the NSS activities of the college a little bit, if you recollect.
Yes, sir. Sure.
Right?
Sir is joining right now. Sir,
Okay.
Sir is coming.
Okay.
हेमा हेमा
हाँ जी मैम।
हेमा सर कह रहे हैं कि वो सबको देख पा रहे हैं लेकिन वो हमें ज्वाइन नहीं कर पा रहे हैं।
मैम आई थिंक उन्होंने पैनलिस्ट वाला नहीं अपना मेल आईडी यूज
WhatsApp
किया
पे
होगा।
भेजा था मैंने, वही वो क्लिक कर रहे हैं।
सर मैम एक मिनट, आई थिंक ही मस्ट बी देयर इन द अटेंडीज।
उनको जो लिंक भेजा गया है ना वही वो ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं जो मैंने उनको WhatsApp पे भेजा है।
मैम व्हाट्सएप वाला नहीं जाना था, आई थिंक उनके मेल से जाता।
मेल पे भी गया
नहीं
लेकिन
नहीं
वही
हेमा,
लिंक हमने उनको WhatsApp भी किया था।
हाँ हाँ शिखा। हाँ जी मैम देखिए एक मिनट।
मैं I promoted him. I promoted him.
अच्छा ठीक है सर से अब।
Good afternoon. Can
Good
you
afternoon,
hear
sir.
me? Can you see me? Good afternoon. I've been
Good
trying to
afternoon.
get in for some time, but not able to. I don't know what is wrong. Good afternoon.
Thank you. Sir, thank you for joining.
Yeah, pleasure. Go ahead.
Ananya, start.
Before we begin with the event, I would request everyone to kindly mute their microphones. Marvelous afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The webinar is broadcasted live on Facebook. The audience can join us there too. The chief guest for today's event, Shri Alphon Joseph Kannanthanam, has joined us. Sir, we are honored to have you today with us. The National Service Scheme is a central sector scheme of Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, Government of India. The NSS unit, Shri Aurobindo College, University of Delhi, marked multitudinous milestones in every dimension of community service by organizing century events and 5 projects. Project Sahyog Ek Pehel for differently abled students, Project Kilkari for educating underprivileged students, Project Tobacco Free India for spreading awareness related to tobacco consumption, Project Vasundhara for environmental awareness, and Indian Road Safety Campaign. Now, we are going to present a small presentation showcasing the achievements of session 2019-20. Om Asto Ma Sadgamaya Tamso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityor Ma Amritam Gamaya. Lead me from illusion to reality. Lead me from ignorance to knowledge. And lead me from eternal rest to immortality. The shlok elucidates the essence of human existence, the essence which illuminates us to dedicate ourselves in the selfless service of the society and guide us on the path of community integration and development. Today is the colossal day, as bright as silver, as graceful as swan, as enormous as sea, and as magnificent as diamond. Let's rejoice the majestic journey established up to now. Very charismatic, very charming, and a very marvelous afternoon to the galaxy of intellectuals, Your Excellency, invited guests, teachers, and audience. I, Ananya Banerjee, welcome you all for today's webinar entitled Our Role in National Integration and Inclusive Development, organized by National Service Scheme Shri Aurobindo College, University of Delhi, to commemorate the NSS Day celebrated each year on 24th September. We are honored and privileged to have with us Shri Alphon Joseph Kannanthanam, Honorable Member of Rajya Sabha. Sir, I extend my heartiest gratitude for taking the time out from your hectic schedule and marking this spectacular afternoon with your gracious presence. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. The intrinsic objective of NSS is to practice and promote national integration and social harmony by dedicating ourselves selflessly for the development and upliftment of our motherland. The quintessential blend of national integration and inclusive development fabricates the design of our nation and illuminates the path of prosperity. The holistic and empathetic contribution of youth in the multi-dimensional arena of national integration is the most essential tool towards this initiative. Fortunately, India is attributed with the notions of democratic living and compassionate service for the society, which are indeed the cardinal manifestation of Indian civilization since time immemorial. One can undoubtedly smell the rich and tempting indigenous culture, incredible spiritual power, and fundamental human values within us. The National Service Scheme, Shri Aurobindo College, is beholden and obliged to our principal, Dr. Vipin Kumar Agarwal, who always revitalized the students with his emboldened wisdom, perpetual support, and phenomenal guidance. It is indeed my cachet and prestige to invite our principal to welcome our esteemed guest and address the gathering with his erudition and proficiency. Over to you, sir.
Honorable Chief Guest of today's program, Mr. KJ Alphonse, organizers of this program, Dr. Meenakshi Chaudhary, Ananya Banerjee, my fellow colleagues, and the President of NSS unit, Mr. Amir Hussain. It's a great privilege and honor for me in welcoming Mr. KJ Alphonse. Mr. Alphonse is a man of multifaceted personality. He's not visible on my screen. Hema, could you please check?
Yes, sir.
He's there on the screen?
Sir, it's working absolutely
Right,
fine.
right, right,
You
right.
there.
Right. So, Mr. Alphonse is a man, as I said, with multifaceted personality. I distinctly remember the 1990s when he used to be in the front line and in the news of all the leading newspapers of this country. He was at that time chief land commissioner of DDA, and he was the one whose name was always prominently taken as an honest civil servant of this country. He was the one who took the initiative of debulldozing, or I would say, constructions which were not legal. He demolished those constructions. In the 1990s, for a civil servant, it was a very tough job. And I also remember, on the large demand of the students of University of Delhi, in one of the program, we invited him in at Delhi School of Economics, and he was the one of the key speaker at Delhi School of Economics, and I was the organizer of that program. So a man who is a retired civil servant, a politician, a advocate, a pet lover, man who loves driving, man who loves animal, and so on and so forth. I can talk a lot about him. Such a man is amongst us to motivate our students. I was reading an article about him, and in that article, what I read, in his 10th class examination, he couldn't do well. On that day, he thought, what's wrong with me? And he decided, and from that day, he never looked back. He kept on studying hard, and the result was that he was amongst the toppers. I don't recollect exactly his position, but he was amongst the topper of IAS examination in this country. Friends, there are lakhs and lakhs of Indian youth who vie for clearing and passing the IAS examination. And being amongst the topper is a big achievement. Even today, in this era, where the lot of multinational companies are offering very high package, even in this area, this IAS job is the most vying for, or is the most loved job amongst the Indian youth. And he not only cleared, he topped that. And throughout his life, he worked so honestly that in 1996, friends, I'm again repeating, in 1996, he could dare to write about the Prime Minister of the then Prime Minister of the country and about the corruption at the Prime Minister office and other important places. Believe me, friends, especially for the young students, it is very difficult and courageous. Only a courageous man who is bold from inside can have a courage of writing against the Prime Minister when he is a civil servant. He might have paid price for it, but only a few people can dare such a things. So we have such a personality in form of Mr. Alphonse with us. We are really honored. And let me also share about him that he is also a reading lover. He has written many books, and he is the one who started literacy mission in this country. I can keep on speaking because the time is short, so I'll not speak much about him. And I think, and I will urge my students to, follow him. He can be a role model, and I'm sure his words of wisdom will help a lot. As far as the NSS is concerned, as you know, I'll not speak much about NSS because students who are participating, they know about NSS. I would just remind them what is the motto of NSS. The motto of the NSS is not me, but you. What it means is that our life is for the society. The badge which you have of the NSS, there is a Konark wheel in the NSS badge. And in this badge, there are 8 wheels. 8 wheels signifies 24 hours of a day. That is, we, the youth of this country, are dedicated to the society 24/7. There are 2 colors in the badge. One is the blue. Blue represents the cosmos, and there is a red color. Red colors represents the energy of the youth, the spirit of the youth. So this energy and the spirit of the youth is for the cosmos, is for the nation, and NSS teaches you hands-on experience that whatever we can do best for the society, we will do. This is the oath which NSS volunteers takes. So on this day of NSS Day, I would like to congratulate the organizer of this program, that is Dr. Meenakshi Chaudhary, NSS officer, the president, Amir Hussain, Ananya Banerjee, and all my colleagues, fellow colleagues, Hema, Shikha, Kalpita, and all those we are seeing that for organizing this program. And having Mr. Alphonse on this day is really a pleasure. I'm sure our students will remember for lifetime to come that he was one of the speaker in our one of the program, and he gave these lessons to us. So I'm also very eager to hear Mr. Alphonse. Thank you once again, Mr. Alphonse, for coming here and giving your precious time to the college and to our students. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your enlightening words. It's indeed a prestige to listen your experience and knowledge. Before we proceed, dear participants, I have an announcement to make. It's a request to all the participants to fill up the link mentioned in the chat box for the generation of e-certificates, and please take it as mandatory. Marvelous greetings, ladies and gentlemen. I, Khushi Jain, feels immense pleasure to introduce our chief guest for today's webinar, Shri Alphonse Joseph Kannanthanam. The presence of such eminent personality in our NSS Day celebration is an honor for us. Sir Kannanthanam is currently serving as a Member of Parliament Rajya Sabha. He served as Indian civil servant and advocate hailing from Kerala. Shri Alphonse was the former Union Minister of State for Culture and Tourism and served there from September 2017 to May 2019 under BJP. His constant efforts promoted India to the 3rd rank in the World Travel and Tourism Council 2018. Sir belongs to a batch of Indian Administrative Service 1979, Kerala cadre. He was born in Manimala, Kottayam district, Kerala, and did his post-graduation in economics from North Eastern Hill University, Shillong, and graduated in law from University of Delhi. In 2006, he started his career in politics. After remaining as an MLA for 5 years in Kerala, he joined BJP in 2011. He also served first ever BJP Central Minister from Pathanam 5th. Alphonse marked enormous milestones. In his tenure as collector, the Kottayam town became the first 100% literate town in India. During this period, he was instrumental in building a cancer hospital in Kottayam Medical College, mobilizing contributions from 82 lakh people. He also started the Mass Contact Program, which eventually won a United Nations Award. As the Commissioner of Delhi Development Authority, he demolished 14,310 illegal buildings and reclaimed land worth more than 10,000 crores. These actions earned him the title the Demolition Man. Alphonse has been awarded Best District Collector thrice. He is also the recipient of Best Member of Legislative Assembly Award. Sir was appointed as Minister of State and the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology in September 2017. In the same year, in November, he was elected unopposed as Rajya Sabha member from Rajasthan. With this, I now request our distinguished chief guest to address the virtual gathering for today's webinar. Sir.
Distinguished Principal, Dr. Agarwal, Dr. Meenakshi, Dr. Hussain, members of the faculty, my dear friends, and thank you so much. It's such a privilege to be here addressing Aurobindo College. I'm not very sure I would have spoken in your college, but I've gone and spoken at many colleges in Delhi University when I was commissioner of Delhi Development Authority. I had a very long association with the NSS. I was member of the NSS when I was in college, and also when I was in the university, I was a member of the NSS. So I have long association, and much more than that, when I was a district collector of Kottayam, as the person who introduced me just now said, Kottayam became the first 100% literate town in India. And guess whose idea it was? It was of the Mahatma Gandhi University NSS unit. So the vice chancellor was Dr. Kannanthanam. He came with a bunch of NSS volunteers, and he said, we have this idea of making Kottayam the first 100% literate town. So will the collector take the lead? I said, I'm most happy to do that. And of course, over the next 6 months, we spoke about literacy, and the entire city of Kottayam spoke about literacy. There was just one thing which everybody breathed, just not read about it, breathed, and that was literacy. It became the most fashionable topic. I had 14,000 volunteers working for me from the NSS and also from others whom we recruited who came voluntarily. And out of these 14,000, 12,000 were women, mostly, school dropouts and those who finished their class 10 and didn't go to college. And one of them, Indulekha, I remember, she taught 19 people. She was living in the slums. And she taught 19 people. And eventually, she won the National Youth Award. I mean, she was living in the slums, getting up at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock morning, going to the slums, teaching up to 12 o'clock. So NSS has done fantastic things. And I'm extremely happy that the NSS of Aurobindo College is involved with so many projects for the downtrodden, for the voiceless. And in fact, your distinguished principal, Dr. Agarwal, was telling me your motto is not me, but you. I think we have a serious problem in this country, in this world, actually. How many people think beyond themselves? Let me take abroad. Let's take the United States. I'm not very fascinated with the United States, even though my younger son and my daughter-in-law and my only grandson live there. I'm not fascinated by the US. But 40% of people in the US, they contribute to charity. Guess what percentage of people contribute to charity in India? Less than 2%. You tell me, is it right? Are we following the motto, not me, you? Are we? Not at all. Me, my family, my parents, myself, and eventually my wife, my children. Beyond that, where is a thought in this great country which talks about Vasudeva Kudumbakam? Which means what? The universe is one, that you and I, we are one. Why do we talk about such slogans if we don't practice it? I'm somebody who talks very blunt, as you already know. I talk very blunt. If I find something is wrong, something is wrong. How many students really take a year off and work among poor people? In the US, there is again a system, and I told you I'm not really fascinated by the US. There is a system of national service wherein students take 1 year off and they go to any country in the world, poor countries, and they work there for a whole year. In fact, when President Obama became president, he was asked, who motivated you? He says, it is the 1 year I took off after my college, before I did my postgraduate studies, where I worked in the slums of Chicago, which transformed me. I think this is a story of every person. Even when I was commissioner DDA, after my tenure finished in 1997, my wife was running a huge project in the slums of Delhi, upstream of the Nizamuddin Bridge, where you have the best depot now. That was a huge slum, 30,000 people. She ran a hospital, a school, a tailoring center, and a toilet complex. After I finished my tenure on the DDA, I took leave for a year and I went and worked in the slums in that slum with my wife. Why just me? Tell me. Why is it that we accumulate so many things for ourselves when the world is starving? Take today, for example, the coronavirus, where half the country doesn't have work, doesn't have an income. Do we think of them? How many people have we fed? How many people? You see the board at the back, Mother's Meal. I formed a WhatsApp group. Like you, I'm staying home. I'm staying home. I don't go out at all. That's a jog in the Lodi Garden, because my house is second house from the Lodi Garden. We formed a WhatsApp group called Distress Management Collective with about 300 people. And you know how many people we have provided food sitting at home? We have provided meals, 1 million meals. That means 10 lakh meals sitting in my room here. We 300 people. All the other members of my group are even much more active than I am. This is a strength. We have the capacity in this digital age. We don't even have to go out. We just need to connect people, network, get stuff. After that, my mother, she came visiting me in February, and then she got COVID. She got cured, but she passed away. And this scheme called Mother's Meal, which is the board you see at the back, we've started in her memory. We launched it on the 15th of August, as you would see from the board. And you know what is our objective? Provide 1 million meals to people. Today, we have our people, volunteers, who are not paid. It's people like you who are going to the slums, who are going, walking the hills in the tribal areas, living there for 3-4 days, getting them food. What stops us, my dear kids? What stops us? The whole philosophy which India sold to the world saying yoga. What is the meaning of yoga? Unity, oneness. Exactly what is Vasudeva Kudambam, that we are all one. Let me forget about human beings. Let me come to the rest of the planet. The way we have destroyed the planet. Man has been the cruelest creature on the face of the earth, destroying everything. Our rivers, our mountains, our trees, our birds, we have destroyed everything. We kill everything that comes within our sight. How many of us have cared to feed a few animals during this lockdown because nothing is on the road? Otherwise, all these dogs and all these basically vultures and all these eagles and birds basically feed on what is left on the street or in the market. Now, all the markets were closed. Did you ever bother to keep 1 cup of water in a mug outside your gallery your balcony so that your birds can come and drink, and maybe just a handful of rice or a wheat out there so that the birds come and feed? Do you? And how many dogs have you fed? You know, dogs again feed on whatever is left on the street or in the markets. They don't have food. How many dogs have you fed? I'm sure during this lockdown, you're very, very comfortable. More than ever, you have eaten so much because you had all the time in the world. Did you think of them? You know, my backyard here, I mean, this is a huge compound. This is your house, government house. It's 3 acres. You know, we have 25 species of birds coming here. And just take, for example, one species, eagles. You know, I feed 300 eagles every day, 7 kilograms of chicken minimum. And just like that, we have peacocks. We have all species of people. I have 9 pets, out of which all of them are from the street, no pedigreed ones, you know, no foreign ones, all from the street, out of which 7 are dogs and 2 are cats, all from the street. They're the most affectionate creatures I've ever seen. They're amazing. Come on, if we claim that we are the lords of the world, that's what man claims. I am the king of the universe. Why are we being cruel to them? Why are we looking after them? If it's not me, it's you that I'm caring about, which is the NSS motto. What are we doing to protect the universe and all its creatures beyond us? I know you people have taken up projects. Good, extremely good. But this has to become part of one's life, not a project which you do once on a weekend or, you know, once a month. We just go and do something, distribute a little food out there. No, it has to become part of your soul. It's got to become part of me. Otherwise, you know, it's a ceremony to make photographs and pictures and make nice lectures. I don't believe in empty words and slogans at all. No. I think what we need is action. It's not the Prime Minister. It is not the Chief Minister. It's not MLAs. It's not any of these people who have to make a difference. It's we who have to make a difference. Each of us. It's the title of my book also, Making a Difference. That's the title of the book which was published by Penguin in 1996. Your honorable principal, Dr. Agarwal, said, I got 42% in my 10th board examination. I studied under a kerosene lamp because there was no electricity in my village. My father was a school teacher with 9 children. He adopted 2 more from the orphanage, so we became 11. Before we went to school, we all worked on the farm, not because we were very poor or we were starving. No. My father said, unless you know the smell of the earth, you will not become a good human being. And after scoring 42%, I asked myself, am I an idiot? I decided, sorry, I'm not an idiot. I have intelligence. I have abilities. I taught myself English. I taught to speak. Eventually, I won every prize in the university that you can imagine. First time when I went to speak in the university in a debate, I got 250 shoes thrown at me. What would you people have done? No, I don't have the talent to debate. Eventually, you know what happened? I became the best inter-university debater in India for 3 years. My dear kids, you are specially created by God. You have all the incredible talents, but you just got to decide, yes, I will do it. It's not somebody else. I will do it. I'll make a difference. And you can do it. Recently, I saw a little video of a 6-year-old child. He's got a tricycle. Every day, you know, the pocket money which his parents give him, he's, I think, a middle-class kid. He goes to the flower shop, buys this bunch of flowers. He goes to an old age home every day of the week, one home here, another home tomorrow, old age home. He just says nothing there. He just gives them a rose. He just gives them a hug. And that's it. This kid who is just 6 years. And the inmates say that this is the greatest happiness. He visits us only once a week and we wait for that, for the little rose and the hug. My dear kids, look at that 6-year-old kid. I know so many young people doing so many great things. So many. But please dream big. If you dream big, you can do anything. Your principal also didn't tell you possibly. I was in Time Magazine's cover story in 1994 in the list of 100 young global leaders, along with Bill Gates. Am I saying this out of pride? No, no, no. I'm telling you because whatever I did, you guys can do better than I did. You can because you had the privilege of being educated in Delhi University, one of the very good colleges. You have fantastic people teach you, to inspire you. All that is there. And you also have a set up the NSS, which is an amazing organization where you can do amazing things. So kids, go out of your way. Imagine things. There's nothing you can't do if you imagine it. Nothing at all. Everything is possible. So let's get on to it. And let me tell you, the most important equipment in your body is not your brain. We all have brains. The most important equipment is your backbone. The ability to stand up and say, yes, I will do it. When I was commissioner of DD, I could have got killed. My wife was beaten up. She was left in a pool of blood. Both my boys were beaten up. I used to carry a gun 24 hours a day. I said, I will shoot if you ever encroach my land. I could have been dead long ago. I'm alive. My dear kids, have the courage. We are afraid to think. We are afraid to talk. We are afraid to do things. What will my friends think? What will my teacher think? What will my principal think? What will my parents think? My dear kids, don't be afraid. Think. Do what you want. Listen to music. Dance. Do all the exciting things. Go climb a tree, climb a mountain. Don't bother about what somebody else says. And don't do these 10 pictures on the Instagram, on your Facebook, and waiting for people to like you. Sorry, I post my things on Facebook. I don't even look at what's the responses. I'm not waiting for anybody saying yes to you, liking you. I don't care, frankly. Come on. I don't care. I was possibly the ugliest IAS trainee in Missouri Academy, but I became president of the IAS Academy. So it's not the way you look, how many people are going to like you on your Facebook, Instagram. Come on, yeah, go fly a kite. You don't need anybody's approval. You are good. You have the ability. You have the intelligence. You have the capability. You have everything. Just believe in yourself and just get out and start doing it. Thank you, Dr. Agarwal. Thank you, Dr. Meenakshi, Dr. Hussain, and Ananya. You speak beautiful language. Yeah, I think you can beat Shashi Tharoor any day. Yeah, good. Yeah, but I believe more in action than in words. So beautiful words, fantastic slogans, and thank you, NSS, for doing the wonderful work which you do. But let me tell you, you can do so much more. Thank you very much. I'll be here for just another 5 minutes in case you have any questions to ask me. I have to leave after that. Okay, please.
So Ananya, you
Thank you. Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for your enlightening words of wisdom. It is indeed an honor for all of us to listen to your enormous bunch of intellectual views. Sir, you displayed the accurate reality check of the world today. and motivated all of us to follow the path of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Sir, the enormous initiative of Mother's Meal program also stimulated us to bridge the gap between the privileged and the underprivileged section of the society. Sir, we will mark each and every word spoken by you today and follow the same path that has been guided by you, sir. Thank you so much once again, sir,
Thank you.
for joining us.
Ananya, you asked certain question from Mr. Alphonse.
Sir, I have a question that, as you have also said, sir, that we do things just to showcase in front of the world that we are doing things for the sake of showcasing. We do things, but sir, how we can motivate others to perform the task on ground reality? How we can
Yeah,
motivate
Ananya, yes,
others?
all these slogans are nice, everything is nice, but ultimately it's what you do out there for people. Are you feeding a person? Are you feeding an animal? Are you feeding the birds? Are you making the world happier, or are you creating hatred? At the end of the day, that's what matters. All our speeches in parliament means nothing unless it brings food on the table of somebody who is starving. Unless we stand up for the oppressed and say, well, this we won't allow. We will not, because that person is as human a being as I am. The privileges which I get, my children get, I think the others also should get. You know, my blue jacket which I have, I'm not a poor man. I'm not very rich either, but I'm fairly rich. You know, the blue jacket which I use, I have only 2 casual jackets. The blue jacket which I use, you know how old it is? It's from my Masuri Academy, 1979. I don't have a second blue jacket. Even when I was Tourism Minister of India, that's a jacket I use most of the time. Now my question is, why do I need 10 jackets? Why do I need 10 shoes? Why? Why on earth? I have just one black shoes, and that lasts for 7 years. When there is a hole, gets a hole there underneath, I try to stitch it. When it doesn't still stand, I buy a second one. Why do I need? You know, I have 10 families living in my house. You know, in my servants' quarters. I have about 40 people living in there with their children. You know, where do they get the food? The same food which comes to my house from Big Basket or one of these online delivery systems. My house gets 1 packet, they get another 10 packets. It's extremely safe. My wife buys the same clothes from Amazon for these 40 people as she's wearing herself. My son came from London the other day. He bought shoes, designer shoes for all these 40 children and their parents and everybody else. Now tell me, what gives me the right to be wearing a shoe which costs $10,000, $5,000, even $3,000, when my people living out there, is he a lesser human being? Is that child a lesser human child than what I'm wearing? What right do I have to buy a second shoes or a second jacket? Tell me. Do I have the right to? My younger son lives in the US. He's in the list of 50 biggest philanthropists of the world. You should be surprised. He's a painter. He's got 1 shoes. Every time he comes with the torn shoes, and I said, let me buy you a new one. He said, no. I just will get it stitched and then it will last me for some more time. My dear kids, there's a world out there which is starving, which is voiceless. We just got to support that. And just do it. Just get out and do it. Open your eyes, you'll see plenty of it. I don't have to tell you where it is, where people need help. Everybody needs help. I just live opposite Khan Market. During the pandemic, we've been giving food to all those people in the parking area, food kits. Just look out everywhere. Just outside your house. There's plenty of opportunities. Okay, next question.
Amir, our president should ask some question. Is Amir here?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Pucho,
Sir, very good afternoon, sir.
Hi, Amir. How are you?
Sir, I am good, sir. Sir, how are you, sir?
I'm good.
Sir, as we as an SS team, sir, do many things on the ground for social welfare and everything, sir. But many of the people think it's not job for them. So, sir, what will you suggest for them, sir?
Well, you see, you have to feel it within yourself. Nobody can force you to do anything good, isn't it? If you decide, well, it's somebody else's job to make the world better. I'm here only to eat and then live my life. Let me tell you, eventually you will fall. You would say, okay, the attack on it's not an attack on me, it's on somebody else. Your turn will come. You will be attacked. Your turn will come to starve. Your turn will come to be abused. If you're not willing to stand up in your own college, how many bullies do you see? People bullying each other. Do you intervene and say, sorry, can't happen? When you are having that snack, that big, large, what do you call, pizza, do you think everybody who comes to the college has got a lot of money? You can sense it in your college. Hey, that guy, that kid, that girl, that boy, he doesn't even come to the canteen because he doesn't have the money. How many people really think and say, oh, look here, I know that guy doesn't have money. Let me take him out today to the canteen. How many? When you go to buy that expensive shoes, why do you think of these millions of people out there who not even a slippers here? For that matter, when did I buy my first slippers? I got it when I was 14, when I was in class 10. Rubber chappals. Forget about shoes, man. And I was the only kid in the college. There were 2,000 kids in the college. I was the only one with slippers. And mind you, I don't come from a very poor family. I come from a pretty distinguished family in the village. There are people out there who need help, psychological help. Today, how many people today are just closed up in their rooms and feeling claustrophobic, feeling horrible, getting psychological problems, psychiatric problems? How many of you care to call them up and say, hey, how are you, man? How are you keeping? Sorry, I can't see you, but then let me have a video chat with you. Come on, there is a world beyond your boyfriend and your girlfriend. Fine, have your boyfriends and your girlfriends. I have no problems. But there is a world beyond there, out there. People who can't afford anything. Just look out, you will see them.
Sir, last question from my side. How we can associate ourselves with this Mother's Meal program, our NSS unit, and we can associate ourselves with Mother's Meal program?
I think, Dr. Agarwal, it's very simple. It's about giving a kit worth about 500 rupees to a family. This is really not, this is an emergency kit. I won't even call it a survival kit because you don't really survive on 500 rupees, food kit for a whole month. But I guess it's about 50 meals possibly, and that costs about 500 rupees. And then we intend to continue for the next 6 months giving this kit to the same families. This is an emergency kit when he's really hungry. Simple, 500 rupees a month. That means 6,000 rupees a month. And you can contribute to us or contribute to the mother. We are doing this in association with an organization called Hope, H-O-P, Hope in Bangalore. I mean, if you just message me, I can send you their account numbers, or you can send the money to the Distress Management Collective. It's better to send it to them because we don't have an income tax, 12 exemption. We don't have, they have. And so they will arrange. In fact, they are the people, volunteers all the country from all over the world. They are supplying food in China, in Nepal, in Bangladesh, in Macau. God knows how they do it. But these are a bunch of people. And you'll be surprised. It's led by my brother, who is a Catholic priest, Father George. He won the award from the president for best social work about 20 years back. Yeah. So our whole family is a pretty crazy family. Yeah. Yeah. So please get in touch with me and then we'll put you across. And tell me in your college, which student cannot afford 500 rupees a month? Everybody can afford. And that will go towards feeding a family in emergency. That's it. These simple acts of kindness. If every Indian in this country who has got 500 rupees a month can't they look after another family? There won't be starvation in India. There won't be, I can assure you. And we have enough money in this country. But you just need the will to do it. So, Dr. Agarwal, I have to leave. So, thank you so much for inviting me. You're at a great college, and tell your children to dream big, please. Dream big.
Sir, in 1996, you came to one of the program at Delhi School of Economics.
Yeah, I remember that. You were there. I think you were the organizer. Yeah. I'm very happy you've become a principal. That's a great. It's a fantastic job. I would love to be a teacher after this. After finishing, quitting from politics someday, hopefully.
You are already a teacher. Yeah. You have taught us.
So thank you so much, Dr. Agarwal, Dr. Meenakshi, Dr. Hussain, Ananya, and all the members of the faculty, students. Now, just take a decision today. You are absolutely fine. Nothing lacking in you. Just dream big and just go out and just do things. Okay. So thank you so much.
Thank
So,
you.
Bye.
so
Thank
I
you.
would so I would now invite Mr. Amir Hussain, President NSS Unit, Shri Aurobindo College, to present the vote of thanks. Over to
Okay.
you, Amir.
Thank you, Ananya. A very warm good evening to ladies and gentlemen. It's my immense privilege to propose vote of thanks to the dignitary and our guest who made the event highly successful and memorable one. I feel short of words to express my sincere gratitude on behalf of NSS unit, Shri Aurobindo College. I would like to extend my heartiest gratitude on behalf of gratitude to our chief guest, Sri KJ Alphonse, who graced us with his delightful wisdom and thought-provoking insights. Your words truly enriched us, sir. I would like to extend my warm regard to our principal, Dr. Bipin Kumar Agrawal, for his wisdom, word of wisdom that radiated a source of energy within. Thank you for being with us today. An event of this dimension cannot happen overnight. We have been fortunate enough to be backed by very motivated and dedicated teachers and volunteers. I feel short of words to express my regards to their willingness to accomplish the task beyond their comfort zone. Additionally, I extend my sincere gratitude to our NSS Program Officer, Dr. Meenakshi Chaudhary, Faculty Coordinator, Dr. Nitu Dwivedi, Dr. Kalpita Sonewal, Dr. Mukesh Kumar, Dr. Seema Kumari, and Dr. Avnish Kumar for their constant support. Last but not the least, I thank IQAC convener Dr. Sangeeta Kaul, technical team Dr. Sikha Narang, Dr. Hemanath Pal, NSS team, and all audience for showing interest in the program. Once again, thank you all. Have a great evening.
Thank you, Mr. Alphonse. Thank you. Right. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Thank you.
I now request everyone to stand up for the national anthem.
पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध
Am I all right?
So shall we end the meeting?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you,
So
everyone.
say thanks to all the participants. Meenakshi,
Yes sir.
you also propose the vote of thanks to all the participants.
सर आई थिंक लीव हो चुके हैं अब काफी
अच्छा।
वर्ड्स ने बोल दिया है तो आई थिंक
चलिए, ठीक है. Thank you very much.
थैंक यू सर थैंक यू
Thank you to the organizers, all the team members, Ananya,
Thank you,
Amir,
sir.
and everybody, and all my colleagues, and Miss Jain also. You speak very well, right?
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Meenakshi ma'am, I'm ending the meeting and the recording as well.